Hello, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good.
Hello and welcome to the SC Ballers Teamless Tuesday podcast. I am your host and coach of the Terrace crew, Matt Ricks. We have made it through to round 27. I hope everyone got through their head-to-head grand finals with a win last week. It was certainly a huge weekend at Baller Towers with Baller Bash. We had all the boys in town. We did a live watch along in the studio. We've recorded a finals podcast. And the only man that wasn't here is all the way over in sunny London. It's coach of the Casa Bonitas. Joining me tonight, Danny Boy Ricks. How are you, Danny Boy?
Yeah, g'day, Matty. Yeah, I was very jealous watching the festivities on the weekend. I think what really tipped me over was Gramsy sipping the margarita and posted up. I think it was on the WhatsApps, but yeah, very, very jealous. I know the Baller Tower boys, and they're all good blokes and look like a great time. So yeah. So I was away at a wedding in on the Kent coastline, which was very nice.
Lovely.
So watched a little bit of footy just with the timings, which is nice. And yeah, this is the first year in a few years where I've actually got a trade left for the last round. And yeah, very happy to have double digit numbers coming into round 27.
How many you got post your trade this week?
So when I make my trade, which is going to be drink water, like the majority of listeners probably, I will have 17. And it's quite strong, but Talakai on the bench is probably the only weak link in the chain there. How about yourself? Yeah,
no, 17 as well once I trade Drinky out. So I'm feeling great about that, to be honest, given that 3 of my Raiders are resting, Hudson Young, Tommy Starling and Joey Taps. So, yeah, I feel very lucky to have 17. Cam Munster turning up was a huge win. I thought he was no chance, so that's good. I got the other contributed numbers here too. Dan Tubes are going to have 19. That includes Talakai and Tom Cant, though, but that's okay. Jono has 21, the hot hand. Just can't put a foot wrong, the hot hand, so to speak. Chris has 19 and Gramsci has 18. So there's full squads everywhere. Yeah, I think everyone's looking okay. Given that the Dogs aren't resting anyone, the Panthers have got everyone back on deck. Most squads look pretty strong this week.
It helped last week with such huge scores around the traps, and that was the big resting week, I think, turns out this year. And but I think some people will be struggling, particularly at centre wing, if you didn't have many trades left. If you've got Brian To'o, if you've got Kiraz, if you've got Garrick, these guys have gone down in the last few weeks. You could be running out a bit of your depth guys at centre wing there.
Yeah, I'm going to have an AE at centre wing, I think, if Herbie doesn't play. So, yeah, that's Herbie's my 18th player. So I'm hoping to high heaven that he comes back. I think if the Roosters lose, he'll definitely play. If the Roosters win, then who knows what we'll see there. But yeah, hopefully Herbie can come back. Dan, how'd you go on the weekend? Speaking of round 26.
Yeah, similar to the whole year, really. Pretty just mediocre. Still ticking along okay. Not having terrible runs, but just not really going there. I think I had a 1440 or 1460, something like that. Dropped about a couple hundred spots into about 800. So the dream of the top 500 is still alive, and but probably just don't want to drop out of top 1,000.
Yep. I had a 1480, which was a little bit under par up top. So I dropped from 9th to 16th overall, still in a good spot. Hopefully I can push up into that top 10. I'm about 61 places off 10th, and it's very tight all the way up to 9th. So it's only, like 65 places off 9th. So
is that 61 points or places?
65 points off 8th place.
Okay.
So not too far to go to get up to 8th. But yeah, so hopeful of still a top 10, but we're going to need to nail my captain. So on the show tonight, we're going to have a big chat about captains because there are some amazing options. I think that's your best chance to improve your rank this week by utilising the vice captaincy loophole as well as your captain choice. We're going to go through all the drink water replacements. As you mentioned, Dan, there's no Cowboys match this weekend, so he's the most obvious trade out to bring someone in either in the flex or at fullback. We have a very special announcement, which I'll get into in a minute, regarding the NRL SuperCoach Finals game. And then we're going to get stuck into Rugby League 501 to round us out tonight. You're the lineal champ there, Dan. I'm looking to take you down.
Undefeated, undisputed champ.
We don't even know. We don't even know what what it is this week. So that'll be interesting to find out. But let's get into it. Kicking off, Dan, with the NRL Finals Challenge. Now, we all know the success of the Run Home Challenge and the $7,000 Run Home Challenge and the $5,000 season-long comp. Well, we have great news for all our ballers out there. Tonight, we are launching the $3,000 Finals Challenge. Now, Dan, this is the biggest prize for the winner of the NRL Finals game, including SuperCoach itself. So SuperCoach have a $2,500 prize. Baller has a $3K prize. We've trumped them. We've trumped them.
It's about time.
The biggest prize in NRL SuperCoach Finals history is a Baller.
Jeez. How good's this? How good's this Baller money pit? You just keep grabbing more out.
Yeah. So massive announcement. The SuperCoach Finals Prize League, $3,000 for the winner. Now, this one is winner take all. So in our other leagues, which I'll give an update on in a minute, Run Home Challenge and season long, we've been paying out down to 10th, but this is $3,000, winner takes all. Second or fifth will win a merch pack, which have been very popular, flying out the door like hotcakes, the merch packs for the weekly prize winners. But so winner takes all, $3,000. The league runs from week 1 of the finals all the way through to the grand final. But you have to be signed up at baller.live. That's the only way you can join the league. There'll be no league code going out. You go to Baller, click on the link to the Baller 3K Finals Challenge, and that will take you through to the game itself. You might have to log into SuperCoach as well. But once you're signed up as a baller and once you've clicked that link to get in, you'll be right to go. Entries close at the end of the first finals weekend. So you've got that first whole week of finals to get in there and play it. So head along to baller.live, get registered. And Dan, we recorded a podcast down here in Melbourne in studio for the finals, which we're going to drop later this week. So the perfect bit of content to whet the appetite for the finals game.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to hearing that because I haven't really done a lot of thinking about these finals, but games are going to be tighter. They're not going to be those blowout scores. So strategy is going to be very different to these last rounds that we've seen, these massive blowouts. So yeah, it might be a bit more back to the old school SuperCoach meat and potatoes, man. Make sure that, people are getting 80 minutes on the field and they're churning out the base. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to listening to that. In terms of the merch, if you live overseas, any chance if you win a bit of merch, you'll be able to deliver it? Because I'm still waiting on a bit of my merch.
Yeah, you're waiting, unfortunately. I went to the Australia Post shop the other day, and it was like $90 to send you a bit of merch. So I just figured
that's all right. You're spending $3K on the
but we're giving this is for prizes to the ballers. This is for the ballers, not just so you can have your merch. No, we'll get you sorted out, Dan. Just not yet. Look, we can get a bit more money in the bank first, and then we'll sort you out with some merch. But no, we got plenty of merch to give away. We still need to get in touch. If you've won the weekly prize the last couple of weeks, please let us know. I'll get producer Gramsy on the ball as to who it is, and we'll do a bit of a shout out on social, but let us know. But the main thing there is please get along, sign up at baller.live and get around the 3K Finals Challenge. Going to be good. We're going to have some great content coming out for that over the next couple of weeks as well. Now, the Run Home Challenge, the round winner was Caleb, coach of Could Have Been Anything. And listen to this score, Dan, 1791. Thanks for coming.
Trump
now, that beat Tubes
1750, was it?
Beat Tubes by about 41 points, and obviously Tubes got talked out of Marky Mark by Jono, so really should have actually taken out that prize for the week. But congratulations to Caleb. Let us know who you are, Caleb, and we will get in touch on socials, and we will send you out the merch pack as the weekly prize winner. The leader of the Run Home Challenge is, once again, Michael, coach of Scrum and Coke, who is 37 ahead of Lauren's Broncos. Lauren has no trades, unfortunately, by the looks. So, 4 teams within 100 of first, 43 within 300. Now, it is remiss of me, I have not been mentioning that we're actually paying cash prizes down to 10th in both these leagues. So, in our terms and conditions, we've got some prizes to 10th, so it is well worth fighting for all those places. Go make sure if you have entered, go in and check out where you were coming. And, yeah, it's big Tubes, though, Dan. He's had a huge fight back in the Run Home Challenge. It's just he's left it too late. He's running home at the wrong time of the Run Home Challenge.
Yeah, I think he's gone from 25,000 ranked to just outside the top 10K. So hopefully he's got one more in him, pushing for that top 10K spot. It's good for the contributor reputation as well. I think we're all up in the, of the podmasters across the across the board, we're kind of all sitting in the top 10 there. So it'd be good
Yeah.
for Tubes just to punch up a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the season-long league. Adam, coach of They Killed Kinney. He leads the Stonecutters by 40 points. So Adam is looking good there to take out the season-long prize, which is $3K to the winner and $5K for all our prizes. So, some great prizes to be given away, and the cash will be hitting everyone's bank account after this round. Watch along this Thursday night, Broncos Storm. Storm are named a very strong team, so the Broncos need to win to secure a top 4, so it's all on the line in that. It's going to be me and C-Mac and potentially one of the Rubdown boys, Natty or Wooker, so that'll be good fun. So tune in 7:30 on YouTube on Thursday night for the last watch-along of the regular season. We'll see how we go for the finals, but there could be, we'll have to wait and see if we're going to do the finals watch-alongs or not. We've got a final bit of housekeeping is we've got to give a big shout out to Finn, who is number 1 overall. He's been on the pod a couple of times this year on a watch along. We're cheering him home to take out the major prize. He's 124 points clear. I'm not sure how many players or trades he's got this week, but I'm sure he's in a good spot, and we're cheering you home, Finn. So best of luck. All right, Dan, let's get stuck in now. The big news out of the week is Canberra resting all their players against the Finns. So Hudson Young, Jamal Fogarty, Ko Weeks, Ethan Strange, Jed Stewart, Joe Tapani, Josh Papali, Simi Sasagi, Tom Starling, Zach Hosking. What did you make of that? That's obviously pretty good news if you own any Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, I think a fair few are going to be hurt. I'm surprised you're not hurt more, having carried about 5 or 6 Raiders, I think.
Well, Miles Martin nearly got a game. He's in the reserves.
Hopefully he does. He could be our 18th man this week.
Imagine that.
I'm a Tom Starling hooker number 1 owner, and I'm not, terribly disappointed given his form of late. I do have a bit of a gripe about Blake Brayley's try assist that he gets, where Tom Starling's had a couple taken off him doing exactly the same thing. But we'll move on from that. I think Hudson Young he's still got that lingering groin injury. I think you've seen it as well. He's maybe just not as explosive as he was previous at the start of the year. And then Tapane for owners there is a bit of a hit, but we're pretty full stacked at front row, so probably people have the cover there.
Yep. No good for me. I'm missing 3 out of my 4 Raiders, but thankfully still got 17, like I mentioned. Captains this week, Dan. So does it depend a little bit on how you want to finish the season in terms of overall rank, in terms of who you should be thinking about captaining this week? Because there are some amazing upside choices in my mind. Does it depend on your ambition in trying to climb heaps of ranks, or trying to solidify yourself in like a top 1K or a top 2K?
Yeah, I don't know. Unless you're absolutely precious, I think if you're in the running for some cash, probably like yourself, you still want to be smart with it. If you're, on the border of top 100, something like that, you just want to solidify that. Yeah, well, you can be conservative, go with one of the fullbacks. Huge options in the fullback position this week. But certainly look to have some fun with it as well if you're just not out of the ranks. I'm 800th. I'm not really that precious about top 1,000. I'm just going to try to go absolute pod this week with the captain. And probably like myself, I've only got 17, so it's basically a free loop this week. So, yeah, very pod VC into a plethora of options for the C this week.
The highest projected player this week is James Tedesco playing against Souths. He's projected 101. The boys were saying on the snap, it's an obvious choice, but with Sam Walker back, Teddy hasn't really found that form. But is the matchup just too good to ignore here, Dan?
Oh, I think he'll be VC and C in most people's teams. It's very, very difficult to ignore. But as I said, there's lots of. I think we're going to talk about a bit later who we're looking at, or maybe through the teams. But there's plenty of options this week to go pod against it. Anyone up top? So I think Finn will probably have VC on Teddy. I'd say that's probably a very, very safe option this week.
Yeah. So he's currently the most popular VC at 33% of teams in the top 1%. I'll get the top 10% actually. But yeah, he's the most popular VC in the top 10%, currently at 24.7% VC'd. And so I think think teams are still going to get a few of their VCs off. Jacob Kirab's currently the second top VC. He was obviously the most popular VC last week. He is not playing this week. We will talk about the rest of the captain options here, Dan, because then we'll look at trade targets as we go through the games in a little bit. Nathan Cleary, 97. Tommy Turbo, 92. Reece Walsh, 80. Zach Lomax, 94. Is he an upside pick, Dan, playing the Knights? They're like 13 or 14-point favourites now. The Knights look to have just completely checked out, conceding about 40 unanswered points to the Sharks on the weekend. Lomax, he just doesn't look quite right to me. I'd be little bit concerned captaining him. He's obviously got it in him.
Yeah. I mean, last game of the SuperCoach season, regular season. I love it. Up against Greggy Boy Marju, who's, on one leg as well. One leg old Greg.
Yep.
And
one leg Greg.
One leg Greg. Knights, it's just, I watched it pretty closely. I had Gagai in the centres on the weekend. I was just looking for them to get the ball. It can't get past Jake Arthur. Jack Cogger's just a turnstile. And teams have realised, they can just throw the ball around against the Knights. They were trying to get into a grind with them because Knights just don't score points. So you can have that free will just to throw it around and try to explore. So, yeah, I'm very much leaning towards Zachy Boy as captain this week.
Really? Yeah, okay. I'm looking at Turbo. I just think at the ownership for me, for Turbo, he's the one who can still go nuclear at Brookie. The Warriors are obviously got a bit to play for, but I'm approaching it as, so I want to finish as high as I can, obviously, but I'd really like to finish top 10. That's my aim. It's been my aim for about the last month. I think Turbo at the ownership gives me that best opportunity.
Turbo, definitely a good option. I just think Warriors are the team that can really get into a grind, and they've got a lot to play for this weekend. Their second game, so I think if Broncos win, they can't make top 4, but they can still avoid the Panthers in the first week of the finals if Sharks lose and they win. Yeah. So they've still got a bit to play for, and yeah, I think historically, I mean, maybe not the last few weeks, but they have been a grinding team. It is at Brookvale. Manly don't have much to play for. Turbo's fit and looking strong. He's in my team currently as my last trade for Drinkwater. That might change if I want to go a bit more pod, but yeah, certainly a great option.
Yep. Anyone else on this list, Dan, here fancy it? Reece Walsh projected 80. He's obviously in incredible form. The matchup's tough, but he's still got this great role. I wouldn't be putting him out of calculations if you're an owner.
Yeah, not for me. I mean, I've owned him the last 5 or 6. He had the lowly 26 against the Storm a few weeks back, but then's gone absolutely nuclear afterwards. He has definitely exploded. If any snapper listeners out there, Tube's picking him as ready to explode. He's gone 130 plus the last 3 weeks, so he's certainly exploding. But I don't think he's a captain option this week. I think Levy B. I actually don't think he's a trade-in option as well for Drinkwater. I think there's plenty of other options because you've got the flex option there. You could go anyone. You could even go not a fullback. But I'd be prioritising the likes of Tommy Turbo, Dylan Edwards if he's playing. Definitely over Reece Walsh, even Keanu Kinney.
Yeah, what about Kinney and Jaden Campbell, Dan, as captain options? Obviously, if you bring Kinney in, but yeah, what about the Titans? Even I mean, it's pretty hard to captain those guys, even though that's going to be a really open game on the Gold Coast. I'll throw Dream Baller into that mix as well as a pod option.
Yeah, they're still underdogs against the Tigers, even though it's up at Seabus. Jaden Campbell, I don't think you can trust him as a captain at the moment. He's just not getting involved like he was previously. Yep. I mean, he could be checking out. He could be just saving himself a little bit, which is completely fair enough. Kinney, I mean, he's coming back from a major injury. Like, why would he, put himself through everything? I can see him chiming in and doing well, but I don't necessarily think he's going to match the likes of the big boys. Yeah,
that's an interesting one. I'm looking at Kinney at the moment. But yeah, I think you're right from a captaincy perspective. I think the other options are just too strong. Final captaincy game I want to chat about, Dan, is Tedesco's Roosters. So away from the obvious in Teddy, could Sam Walker or Marky Mark be an option? Now, Marky hasn't been quite as prolific when he's not playing Kane Bradley, but B, when Sam Walker's been in the team.
Yeah. I mean, it was an absolute horror show being a Daniel Tupou pod owner on the weekends. I think I said he's catching a cold, and then the commentator said exactly the same thing about 2 minutes later. That was a tough watch, not being a Marky Mark owner.
Yeah.
I love the fact Sam Walker's back. It's going to be amazing for Daniel Tupou, those crossfield kicks, like they're just feeding him a lot more. I would probably prefer, if I didn't have Marky Mark or Tupou, I'd actually go Tupou as a pod this week as a trade-in. But Sam Walker, huge upside. Could get you a 40 even with a little bit of work. But definitely the option, I think, for that flex position if you're not going a fullback.
Yep. All right, Dan, I'm going to get up the Baller website now, and we're just going to run through, rather than doing our positional analysis this week, we're going to run through game by game and just chat about a few options who are potential trade targets this week. Obviously, we mentioned if you do have a trade left, if you're in a lucky position to have one or maybe even two trades left, we're just going to go through these game by game and have a look. Now, drink water replacements are the highest priority, I think. And I think it's fair to say, Dan, when you're replacing Drinky, it does open up the fullback position, obviously, but also the flex. So it really just is about looking at the highest upside possible replacement in any position, and it could be pod for that matter.
Yeah. I think ideally you want a fullback, and given the runs they've got this weekend. But certainly you could absolutely pod up this week, whichever way you go.
Yep. The other position of interest is 2RF, with teams have got a lot out. A lot of players been rested again there. So, yeah, people might be shopping for a 2RF. So we might just touch on a couple of those as well. But just on that, Dan, like if you did have to take an AE, like if you only had 17 or 18 anyway, you're probably not buying a 2RF this week, are you? You're much better off, and you got to trade. You're much better off just trading at fullback or centre wing. Definitely. Yeah, chuck a reserve on either of those positions over getting the 2RF. I guess it probably is determined by, are you running an AE or are you light somewhere else, because you obviously can't take two AEs. So for me, I would, if I was short a 2RF this week and I had Tom Starling sitting there, I'd have to trade a 2RF. So just be mindful of that. You're not getting two AEs in your team. You should know that by now, but maybe some people haven't been in that position yet. Yep. So Broncos Storm here, Dan. Pretty huge game. We'll be doing it for the watch along. We got Walsh projected 80 and Pap 68. Is Paps on your radar at all? I don't think he gets the goal kicking, does he?
No, I don't think so. Last week, I mean, they didn't have the ball second half as they said on the snap, but still 30 something with a try assist and line break assist. There's just so many other options. They've wrapped up top four. They're going to finish top two. So they're getting a home semi anyway. So, like, even if they have the game wrapped up, like you nearly cotton wool taking Pappy off there. Yep.
Not an option for me either. Little pod, Xavier Coates. He's obviously going for top try scorer. He's got the ceiling we've seen this year. I speak about it on our upcoming pod for the finals, but I really like X Coates for a finals pick at centre wing as well. I don't know I'd go there this week, but I couldn't really bag anyone for doing that if they like someone with could jag a hat trick.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got to look at Broncos as a whole, that the last 5 rounds they versed Souths, Dolphins, Knights, and Cowboys, and they've had one tough game against the Storm. Like, I don't think, Broncos are definitely on the up, and they've been beating teams and smashing teams, but this is nearly a full strength Storm, if not as full strength as they can be with Harry Grant suspended. So this will be a very tough matchup, and Coates absolutely on fire this year.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to Sea Eagles v Warriors now, Dan. Tommy Turbo leads the way here with a projection of 92 points. Player of interest I wanted to touch on, Lehigh Hopewadi, projected 57. He didn't score amazing last week, but as that pod sort of centre wing, Dan, he's still got to be an option back to Brookvale where he scored 160 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
we've seen now he can have that ceiling. I think after his concussion, and I think he had a shoulder injury or something there, he's been a bit slow to return. he had such huge base output when he was playing fullback, and even on the wing, he was still churning out sometimes 35, 40 points in just base alone. So, it all is probably dependent on that first result with the Broncos. If the Broncos win, the Warriors might be a bit dejected. There might be a slight resting. Could be an option in that scenario.
There's no one in the Warriors that's really an option this week. They don't have the big attacking firepower in the outside backs or in the halves. Tommy Turbo, Dan, we touched on him quickly in the captaincy pick. You said you're looking at him as a potential Drinkwater option. Is it just the fact that the Warriors might show up like with a bit to play for that's putting you off? Because I think like these Brookvale stats are just ridiculous.
Yeah. That's it. But, earlier in the year, I thought, Warriors, they could put up a fight against the Storm, and that's when Pappy went 180 plus, I think. I think you could be very safe bringing in Tommy Turbo this week for a good score. Just maybe thinking his ceiling might be a bit capped if Warriors are showing up and getting into a grind. Weather dependent as well, I guess.
What about DCE, Dan? He's gone back-to-back monster tons with this goal kicking. It's obviously his final game for Manly. I sat on the watch along a couple of weeks ago and said, don't bring Cherry in. And since then he's averaged 130 or 140. So
wow.
He's got a nice projection here of 80 again. Could he be smoky?
He could be. He definitely could be. I'm terrible at picking what's going to happen in actual games here. But if Manly are going well, if they smash the Warriors, I expect Cherry Evans to be leading the charge there. Maybe second behind Turbo, but he's certainly in for a decent score and he's in red hot form.
All right, let's move on now to the the Roosters and the Bunnies. Friday night, 8 p.m. at Allianz. This is a huge game. Roosters have to win to solidify their place in the top 8. The Bunnies obviously trying to get Alex Johnston over for the try-scoring records. He needs 3 there. He's got a projection of 51. Even though they're trying to get him to score, Dan, you can't really entertain him in this game, can you, as an option?
Well, you wouldn't think so, but Jono, host of the Snap, hot hand extraordinaire at the moment, is very keen on bringing Alex Johnston in. So, look, I mean, if they were playing Dolphins or someone who's leaking a huge amount of points at the moment, Cowboys, something like that, but against the Roosters, massive rivals, Roosters solidifying. I think Roosters, are they guaranteed 8th spot now? So no. So they're still going to be fighting. They've got to win. So
they have to win because if they lose, Dolphins overtake them.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know if he's got too many mates in the Roosters team, but they're not letting him in for those tries. So,
no, and no Latrell now either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's a hard no from me. I'm not keen on. If I was that desperate for a 2RF, Keon, Tallis Duncan both just can't. Like Tallis Duncan just can't stop scoring tries.
Yeah. He'd be my pick for 2RF. I think if I was going to choose one.
Yep. 698K, not cheap. But he's got a projection of 66, same as Kaloa Matangi there. We mentioned Mark, 74, but you sound like you'd prefer Toops there, Dan, as a bit of a pod.
Yeah, just the way it's been going. I thought Tupu's been excellent with Sam Walker and the team there. And, you look at Marky Mark's scores, he's definitely got a low score in him. So if they don't go right, it always depended on the game plan. And he could go nuts again. So, yeah, I'd probably say Tupu at the moment, but maybe that's looking with rose-coloured glasses. I'm not sure.
I think Marky Mark, because if they do put a bit of a dent in Souths early, I think they'll go looking for him to win top try scorer. So he's one clear at the moment. So I think that he'll be trying to sniff.
Do you think they care that much about that?
Definitely. Yep, absolutely. Sorry, and that's only if they're 20, 30 in front.
Sure.
So, I think they'll have their game plan, but I do think they'll want him to win it. I think that's something that they definitely will be on the mind. We saw Teddy, 101. Anyone else here catch your eye, Dan? Sammy Walker?
I like Sammy. I think you could play Billy Smith if he's still lurking in your team. Definitely a good play. Anyone against South at the moment. Crichton just hasn't done enough for me this year to say he's that definite pickup because he can have that 40-plus game. He's still projected about 75, I think, on the ball projections.
Yep. All right, let's get on to now Dragons v Penrith. Now, Penrith have brought everyone back this week, bar Brian To'o and Liam Martin, who get an extra week's rest. Dylan Edwards, Dan, his name to play here, but the chat is that he could get a rest still, even though he's been named. So that's just a wait and see. I think he is a sensational purchase against this Dragons team, who are probably considering their trip to Bali on Monday.
Yeah, I really like him as well. The potential resting rumours really concerns me, particularly because Tommy Turbo is playing before him. So you can't really wait for that game to see if he gets rested. You could, but then you'd have to go and pick up someone else who's playing after him, like a Kearney. But yeah, I think he's in for. I mean, watching him as a non-owner, it's been horrific. He's been everywhere. His base is just huge. He gets tackle bus every single run. He's chiming in for those try assists, those cheap try assists as well. So if you've got him still, excellent, run him out. If you don't have him, wait, mate, and you can wait till that game. I think he's probably, for me, top 2 bring-ins this week.
No one at the Dragons to speak of. Nathan Cleary, Dan, which don't know why I didn't mention him too much. We haven't had a chat about him in captains there, but I think he's looking like a potential captain for me on the weekend. This is an amazing matchup with, like I said, Dragons, nothing to play for. Panthers, I think, are going to want to put in a big performance here just to get their season back on track. They had those 2 tough Golden Point losses. This is kind of the platform they want now to get into form for the finals, and I think Cleary's going to want to be at the forefront of that. My question for you, Dan, is does Cleary have the same ceiling as these fullbacks this week?
Well, I think he does. He definitely has the ceiling to match him. What I am very concerned at is it's round 27. If they've got in the bag, they've got a halfback, a very decent halfback sitting at number 14 in Brad Schneider. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Very decent, generous.
Well, yeah.
Decent.
He's all right. So I wouldn't be surprised if it comes to 60th minute, they've got the game locked up and Cleary gets the breather as well. So that would be my concern for the captaincy.
Reverse junk. Okay. I hadn't thought of that. All right, let's move on to our next game. Titans-Tigers. This game is super interesting, Dan. Like, 5:30 p.m. Saturday afternoon. Defense not going to be on the menu. Titans just scoring and conceding at will. Crazy team, the Titans. They could have beaten the Finns again last week. Keeney fullback, Brimpod center. Phil Sammy returns from whatever was wrong with him. I think he had an ankle injury during the week.
Does he return?
Maybe not.
He gets named all the time and then he's out all the time.
Yeah.
Couldn't trust getting him and then getting stuck with
strain,
him.
Yeah. So I think he's a no-go.
Yeah.
Regardless, he doesn't quite have it. I mean, I would have no surprise seeing Sammy come out and score a hat-trick and score 140, though. But, yeah, seems unlikely. Taylor May's been on a tear, Dan, for the Tigers, 61. Again, there's just too many good options, aren't there, this week?
Yeah, like, certainly an option for if you've got a couple of trades left.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've got a couple of trades left, certainly an option. Great matchup. He's looked very good. He'll be coming up against, I don't know much about Carter Gordon in terms of defensively. Brimson, in the centres this week. That could change. I'm not sure. Brian Kelly on the wing is a bit confusing as well. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. So is Kinney getting switched late? I'm not exactly sure. So I think Taylor May is probably the best option out of those backs.
What about Buller?
Excluding the fullbacks.
I like Buller. I reckon Buller's going to go a 150. He's due a 150 soon. I really like Buller.
Has he ever had a 150?
Don't think so. But, I think that we might get a big Buller score here. I'm going to give him some consideration. He looks so good. He's such a silky mover. I said on the watch-along that he's probably the best player in NRL now that's not really that great at SuperCoach, but maybe he can turn the tables. But yeah, we'll see. Just getting a note here that Brimson actually played on the wing on the weekend, Dan, when Kinney came on. So we might see a swap with Brian Kelly there. Brimpod, not really a known winger, but we'll see.
Yeah, his output coming out of the back end at wing would be interesting because he's certainly a mover and a tackle buster. Like, I've never seen a man move so fast, but he's nearly too fast for his own body. Like, he nearly throws himself off balance. But yeah, could be in for some tries there on the wing if he plays, and definitely can get those power stats.
It would be remiss of me not to mention Beau Fermor as a 2RF option. Congratulations to Beau for being mentioned as a trading option every week of the 2025 season.
He's up for a Bally award, I think.
Most mentioned trade option. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Let's get on now to Dogs v Sharks, Dan. Not a ton doing here. Kick out comes back. Preston, 140 or whatever he got on the weekend. This doesn't feel like the game to target for me.
No, not for either side. I think Bulldogs match up very well against the Sharks. We saw it earlier in the year. They really stifled them. So I think it might be a bit of a grinding game. I wouldn't really be touching anyone. Only potentially Preston if you're short in the second row. Kick out pot potentially as well. Ramian back for Sharks maybe solidifies that defense a little bit. Yeah, it's not a huge SuperCoach game, I don't think.
And Nico's not a captain option this week either.
No.
Nothing really doing here. All right, Finns v Raiders. There is stuff doing here. So Raiders obviously resting everyone. Herbie named in the 22, Dan. This is probably one worth talking about, Herbie, Dan. He's 841K. I own him, so I desperately want him to turn up. Could you buy Herbie if you don't own?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's later in the round, isn't it? So that's a little bit risky. But
you could go buy someone else from that game from the Finns, or like you could buy Hammer or Jake Averillo. I actually don't mind Averillo pod, but not really at centre. Or the Eels have obviously got a great matchup too in the game after, like the Fox or someone like that.
Yeah, definitely a centre wing option for that second trade. If you're trading in the flex first up, I really like it. He coming off a hamstring injury, and he's definitely coming back early. Like it's really only for that finals opportunity. So I'd be very surprised if results don't go their way and they're done and dusted, he won't play. He's got the Ashes coming up later in the year. I think he wants to be right for that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think it's unlikely Herbie plays if the Roosters knock over the Bunnies. Also in this game, Dan, Trey Fuller projected 74. I must admit, I saw a bit of that Titans game on the weekend. He looks electric. Jeez, the matchup's there. It's right there. He's in good form. Yep. I love Trey Fuller. I love him.
Yep. We loved him enough last year to bring him in, I think, over that bye period.
He was a cheapie.
Yeah, didn't quite work out, but yeah, certainly a huge pot option, playing fullback, playing a very understrength Raiders team, and the Dolphins are at home. Dolphins just love throwing the ball around.
Especially if it's a dead rubber.
Still doing his magic. Yeah. So, yeah, certainly a big fullback option, pot option for that flex position.
I don't mind a punt on any of these Dolphins, particularly if they can't make the finals. Like, I know that sounds a bit counterintuitive, but I think that they'll be more inclined to put on a bit of a show against the Raiders here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders give them a game, though. If it's like if it's more of a slog. Like this Raiders team, I know they're missing a ton of players, but they've got enough depth. It's going to be hard. You're like just looking at this team again. Like it's obviously some good players, but yeah, it's maybe I'm overestimating that a bit. So it should be a good win for the Finns.
They've taken their whole spine out.
Yeah,
like
you can't
the
really
effect of
compete with
that. No, and then their premier prop captain. Like it's just I think they're in for a touch up. They might show some grit early on, but as you said, Dolphins are going to throw that ball around no matter what.
Final game, Eels v Knights. Eels, very, very short price favourites here. We spoke, Dan, about the Knights just looking a rabble, particularly in defence. Sharks had no problems racking up some points once they got the ball on the weekend. We mentioned Lomax, great option. I don't mind as very pod player, especially if you've held out for Herbie. I really like Dylan Brown and Mitch Moses this week for a score.
Yep,
Brown's last game for the Eels.
Yep. anyone in that 167, even Yongi could get
Yongi.
a big score there. I like that. So I wouldn't be going past Yongi, Lomax. I probably wouldn't go Brown. I don't. It's his last game at Para. Maybe there's a bit of motivation there to see it out. Moses, definitely could be a good option if they rack up those points.
No one in the forwards, and obviously no one from the Knights. All right, Dan, that will see us off for our match analysis there. Let me stop sharing for those on YouTube. It's going to be an interesting week. I'm a bit plenty of good options, and we'll go through them all later on in the week as well with some Q&A and for the watch along Thursday night as well. We're going to get now into, Dan, our Rugby League 501. So this is our darts quiz game that we've been playing for the last couple of weeks. Feedback's been very, very good, Dan. You beat CMAC in that first game. Then last week, Tubes came out and did Tubes win? I can't even remember. But all I know is you're undefeated, and this is my first crack at it, so I'm going to take you down. The first option now, we've got a pick option here. Producer Gramsci's putting our options up on the screen here, Dan. NRL games players with the name Smith. Last name or first name, including hyphenated.
First name
Smith
Smith
is part of the name in any type of Smith. I don't mind that. Second option is players with the name John, featuring John as part of their last name or first name. Wow. Including hyphenated. Ooh, what are we going with, Dan? I'm going to let you pick here as the lineal champion.
Smith or John? That's... Jeez, I think you've got me covered in both, but I'm going to go... let's go Smith. Might be a quicker game.
Right. The Smithies.
The Smithies. Brad and Shane inclusive.
Gotta run on the last pod. All right. It looks like you're up first, Dan. So I'm gonna tee across over to you for first guess in the game. So just so everyone knows the rules, we both start on 501 points. The topic is players with the name Smith, either first or last in their name. If Dan says a name and they've played 180 games, he can get 180 points off his score. And if he goes over 180 games, he will bust and register no score. It is the first player to get down to 0 or between 0 and -10 to check out and take home the prize. So, Danny boy, without further ado.
I didn't think too much about this, but the only Smiths back in the day I know are the Smiths brothers, and they've all probably played plus 200 games. So
there's a few. Yeah, there's probably a few running around right now that you could probably think of.
No, there is. Yeah. But for the 180.
I'm going to write a couple down here, I think.
Oh, okay. Just one. Would you like to go first, Matty?
I can go first if you want.
All right, you go first.
All right, I'll go first. My guess, and I'm a bit worried that it might be Busto, but I reckon he's got a good amount of games. Craig Smith, former Kiwi prop. St George Illawarra, Newcastle Knight. What do we got here for Craig Smith? Producer Gramsci, it's coming up. All right. My guess, 501, 133. Very happy with that.
That's a very nice one first up.
What do you how can you match that, Dan? What are you going? I'm writing a few down right now as we speak.
Oh mate, I'm absolutely done here. I should have gone with Johns. I'm just going to kick it off so I can think about it a bit more. Lindsay Smith.
Hey, that'll do. That's a pretty good answer. That's what do you reckon? What do you reckon here? Maybe 100?
Maybe 100.
I hadn't even had him written down. Yeah. All right. I'm getting another one ready in my mind. As Gramsci comes up with the answer here.
Yeah, the pen ready. Had the pen ready and everything.
Oh, hang on. Okay. Craig Smith update. Apparently, they've gone to the score check, and it's actually 153, not 133.
Just dig it in.
Bumping it up a little bit. Here comes Lindsay Smith. Have you got the pen and paper, Dan? Writing a couple down.
I don't have the pen and paper, Matt.
Okay.
I've got ChatGPT.
You can probably just go with any old name and you'll probably land on someone Smith. Sure, there's a
Andrew.
John Smith.
John.
76 for Lindsay.
All right. Yeah.
All right. I've got ones that I don't think are 100 or over. But I'm going to go, it's a pretty basic one. I'm going to go Sandon Smith. Current Roosters, 5'8". I've got some I reckon I've got some good low ones, but I need to think of some more big ones to get me down to that number. Otherwise, this takes forever. I can feel some hard edits here, Gramsy, with some takeouts to get us to get quicker. 47 down to 301. All right, I'll take that. Not too bad.
I have no idea. I know he's coached a lot more than 180 games, but I'm going to go Brian Smith.
Well, I don't reckon.
And even if he didn't play, I don't know. Even if he didn't play, there might be another Brian Smith. Does that count if you don't even know if it's a different Brian Smith?
I'm going to let you. If there's a Brian Smith who's played, I'm going to give it to you.
Thank you.
Smith. It's 3. There's 3. I'm gonna let you have the aggregate of all Brian Smiths here, Dan, if it's not over 180. Yep.
What's that?
Yep.
What's the total? All Bryans?
Here comes all the Bryans with an eye. Here we go.
Come on.
Coming up now.
Yes, 74.
Got to take that. Got to take that. All right, I'm still short here. Trying to think of any Smiths. This needs to be Rugby League 101, not Rugby League 501. Smiths. All right. I honestly got no idea. I'm going to go for Billy Smith, current Roosters.
Billy Smith?
Center.
Well, no. Well, Billy Smith is also famous Billy Smith from the Dragons, isn't it?
No, well, yeah, there is a famous Billy Smith. I'm going Billy Smith though, the current one. Maybe you can go that Billy Smith.
Right.
I reckon you'll be all right. Wow.
It's already locked in.
Oh wow. He like played for Australia and stuff. That Billy Smith.
He was very good. Yeah, I actually met him on a hospital ward in St George.
43 games for current Billy Smith.
He was a great
very
man.
Disappointing. Oh, okay. So all right. So your guess is Billy Smith, Billy Smith.
Old Billy Smith, rugby league legend Billy Smith.
Okay. Yep. Big Dragons man.
Probably a 400 gamer. Yep. Done. 243. Unbelievable. Well done.
That's too many.
No, I know.
243. Oh, geez. In the spirit of fairness there, I'm going to let you have 143 to get that down.
No, it's all right. I got it.
All right. Smith. I'm just going to have a stab in the dark here and go for Peter Smith. 115. How good.
What a guess.
How good,
What a
Peter
guess.
Smith. Played for, give me those teams he played for again, Gramsci. Gold Coast, Bulldogs, and Souths and Illawarra. Wow.
Okay.
Decorated career for Peter Smith. I'm going to have to look him up after this. I reckon you need a tactic like that, Dan.
I know. I'm going to go Chris Smith.
Chris Smith. I reckon there was a Chris Smith who played for
Norths?
the Bulldogs and the Panthers. Is that Chris Smith? Oh, I've got a good one. For next, here comes Chris Smith. 39, yeah.
Yeah,
I reckon
take it.
that is. All right,
Case.
this one actually might send me over. In fact, I'm almost certain it will. So what do I need? 143. Actually, I'll do it. Actually, it might be all right. It might be right on the number. This could be checkout for me. I'm going to go Nathan,
I really hope so.
Nathan Smith, former Raider and Panther.
Yep.
That he might be too many. I need between 143 and 153 to check out because he played for a pretty long time. But he wouldn't have played 200 games, would he? Let's have a look. Nathan Smith, Canberra and Panthers. He played for. He wore headgear at times. Answer coming now. 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, 8. 15. Oh, that's good. I can check that out. Very good.
Now there were three Smith brothers, weren't they? Darren, Jason, and someone else.
Wow. Yes, there were. Of course, they played a lot of games. They played a lot of games.
I know they did. I think Darren and Jason are both over, but I think
Darren's definitely over.
Can I have the third Smith, whose name I can't think of at the moment?
Is a third Smith?
Isn't there a third Smith?
Don't think so.
Oh, okay. All right.
Jason,
I'm gonna have to have a crack here. I'm gonna go Jason Smith.
Jason Smith.
Even though I think he's at 250. I think
he's a
250.
230, 230, something like that. That'll probably be Busto. All right, I need 209. Yeah, good try. Good try.
Just finish me off.
All right,
here,
I need
please.
15 to 25 to take this out. I'm going to go Harley Smith Shields, Raider and Titan.
Oh, is it enough? Oh, wait, yeah.
Is it too many? Surely not too many. Surely not too many. He would have played, what do you reckon, maybe 15 games for the Raiders and 5 for the Titans or something like that? That's what I got in my mind. Here we go. Coming in now, answer.
You're 20. A tab above. You're a tab above. Man.
Spot on.
Yeah, well done, Matt.
Spot on. Checks me out. There was a score deleted there, but that takes me to the championship of the Smith 501s. It's quite a game, that one, Danny boy.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
We'll see if Rugby League 501 makes it back next week.
Got to make it.
Brandon Smith, I hear in my ear there. That would have been nice. Yeah. Yep. It's not easy on the feet. We'll have to get better at that. All right, guys, EPL code 920230. Make sure you jump in there if you haven't already. And NFL kicks off this week. 596873. We've got our huge baller draft on tonight. We've got some big names in that. The NRL Physio, Catfish, the NRL Roast. So that's going to be a ripper. Dicko from Mailbag. Can't wait for that tonight. We'll give some details out about the draft league as the season goes on. But please jump into those league codes. Dan, it's been a great season. Hopefully we'll see you for Q&A this week on Thursday. If not, best of luck for round 27, and thanks for all your contribution this year.
Yeah, cheers, Matty. I think we're gonna kick things off for the finals still. Maybe a couple little short pods. So yeah, looking forward to the finals, and all the best for your top 10 ambitions for the year. I'll be cheering for you.
Thank you very much. All right, and all the best to all our listeners for the last round of NRL. Do not forget to come and join the 3K Finals Challenge on SuperCoach on Baller. So it's going to be great. Baller.live, sign up today, and that will get you in and eligible for the prize. Best of luck in round 27, everyone. We'll see you later in the week.
You'll be your day.